How is it going, fight fans? Joey G from Wrestling Headlines, and I am joined today by a man who needs no introduction. He is the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion, the National Treasure, the Dealer, a man that has more lifetime nicknames than I've done lifetime push-ups, Mr. Nick Aldis. Mr. Aldis, thank you very much for joining me today.
Not a problem. Thank you for having me, Joe.
Absolutely. You know, Champ, we are living in turbulent times. So I always like to start these interviews with something fun. I think we've allotted ourselves some fun considering everything that's going on in the world, especially here in the United States. One of my favorite advertisements that appeared on NWA Powerrr was the promo that you starred in for the upcoming RetroMania Wrestling video game, the official sequel to WrestleFest. Now, not only does that game feature the GPB studios where NWA Powerrr is taped, but it also includes the 10 pounds of gold mode, which will have players challenging your character for the world's title. My question is, how does it feel to not only be a playable character in a video game, but be the center of an entire mode?
It's very flattering. It feels like a lifetime ago now that Mike and the team at RetroSoft reached out, but when right from the first conversation, I was thrilled when they described the concept. I totally understood why they were approaching me, and smartly on their part, they got me on board first, and then helped leverage that to a wider deal with the NWA, a license deal with them for the set and the brand and the 10 pounds of gold mode and everything. So it's been a blast. We're a startup organization, so we totally appreciate and want to help the growth of other ambitious startups who are kind of approaching things in a different way. So when with RetroMania, the concept and the way they were going about it, they were being very they were focusing on a niche, no doubt, but they were approaching their marketing in a fun way, and I felt like they had a really good a degree of self-awareness and authenticity, and I thought that it aligned perfectly with the message that we were trying to get across in the branding and the marketing of the NWA. So the whole process has been great. They've taken their time, and I'm sure that with the pandemic and all these and like you referenced the sort of very unusual time that we've been living in, it probably didn't help with the time frame, but they're now ready to launch, and I've seen a few screen grabs, I've seen a few samples, and it's really been easy. And I hope that they would say the same thing about working with me. They've hit me up a few times. Oh, we thought of this new thing, and would you mind recording another VO for this other thing? And I've always been like, sure, man, let's do it. Because look, obviously, one, it's a business relationship, that money's changed hands. So as far as I'm concerned, whenever you're in a professional deal with someone, you want to try to maximize the return for both sides and maximize their investment, because it's only going to buy you goodwill and lead to other opportunities. But also because obviously, I don't want anything that I lend my name to be subpar. I want it to be, even if it's not the biggest thing in the world, I want the people that do see it or do experience it to go, wow, that was really good, really high quality. So I'm excited about it, and it will probably lead to me finally getting on Twitch because once there's a game where, like you said, there's a whole mode kind of dedicated to essentially me and what I've done, then seems like a no-brainer.
Well, You know, we've all enjoyed your 815-day reign as world champion. I can't tell you how much forward it's going to be or how much fun it's going to be watching you have a reign of terror on Twitch as well, where everyone's going to be just attempting to dethrone the national treasure. So I look forward to that. Now, speaking of your world title reign, like I said, 850 or 815 plus days since you defeated Cody Rhodes at the NWA 70th anniversary show. You've had miraculous defenses against a variety of opponents all around the world. What would you say have been some of your favorite defenses in that time, including in your first reign?
Well, I think fortunately for me, the high profile matches have all been probably my best performances as well, you know, which is obviously what you want. That's the, not to say that I phone it in on any title defense. And I think you could ask anyone who's, to your point, all over the world, who's bought a ticket to see a title defense over the last 2.5 years. And they would say that, you know, there's no one that will say, oh yeah, that he kind of phoned it in. But certainly the Crockett Cup match with Marty Scurll in 2019 was, to me, I thought was my best. You know, one day when I look back at my body of work, that would be a match that I would show to everyone to say, that's a world title match, a story, you know, with layers and grit and, you know, heart and soul, and it made sense, and it was athletic and believable. It had everything, you know, it had technical wrestling, it had high spots, it had blood, but not gratuitous, you know, it was, it was two friends, you know, there was emotion, there was, you know, it just had, it hit every, to me, it hit every, it checked every box that I feel like a main event NWA title match is supposed to have, and you know, thinking, and really it was, you don't do any of this by yourself, you know, it comes down to the truly memorable sort of moments in any wrestler's career or any wrestling company's lifespan. It will come down to a culmination of a team of people. You know, you're talking usually dozens of people and dozens of minds converging on, you know, and all coming together and making this thing. And in that case, it was our company and Ring of Honor. You know, at that point, we had worked together some, obviously with All In, because that was a Ring of Honor event, and you know, various other Ring of Honor tapings that I'd been involved with. But that one, you could just feel all day, right from the beginning, right from we walked in, and we had that was the first time we debuted, so reintroduced the old school blue canvas with the yellow NWA letters, and we had the big banners, you know, the sort of Rocky II style banners, and the graphic board with the tournament board, the sort of Karate Kid style tournament board, and all that stuff. And you could just feel everyone from like Mark Davis, who's the head of Ring of Honor production, you know, and all his team, and the Ring of Honor brass, and our guys, and everyone. You could just feel it in everyone. Everyone walked in and went, "Wow, this is different. This is special. This has a real cool vibe to it." And everybody brought it that night. I mean, everybody, you know, Willie Mack, Colt Cabana, you know, AK and Santana, you know, the PCO, and oh gosh, you know, and Tom, and you know, Tom Latimer in the tag team match, and all the way down, everyone, and oh god, the Briscoes and the Rock and Roll just crushed it. I mean, just killed it. Like, and there was no point where I was sitting there thinking, oh god, like it's gonna be hard to follow that. Like, I knew, like you know, Marty and I knew that we had done the work and everything was gonna be perfect, and in my mind it was. So that's one. Obviously the Cody matches, you know, they sort of, you know, it's, I find it very flattering that even after all this time, daily, I'm still hit up on social media about, we want to see Cody Aldis 3, we want to see Cody Aldis 3. And look, you know, who knows if that'll ever happen. It's not like I'm, neither one of us are putting our eggs in one basket with that. Neither one of us are sitting around like hoping that we can, if it happens, it happens. But the fact that we had 2 matches, and they were both totally different. And they worked great in totally different ways. I'm very proud of the 2 out of 3 falls match that Cody and I had in Nashville. Again, just because, you know, it's hard to go out and go like 45 minutes like we did, and to keep people not just interested, but captivated, and to get a finish that, although, you know, I'm sure there were Cody fans that didn't want it to go that way, to still just to see grown men like this, like, you know, to get a real emotional response for an outcome of a wrestling match is that's what we live for.
Yeah, that's the job.
Yeah, so that one, and the first match on NWA Powerrr with Tim Storm.
I'm actually happy you mentioned that. I was going to say personally, just 2 things. First off, I was in the crowd at All In. Let me tell you, as someone that was a part of a truly miraculous wrestling event, that match stood above and beyond most of the other matches. So high praise for that. 2, I was going to say that my personal favorite defense was against Tim Storm at the NWA Powerrr debut. And I wanted to ask kind of a 2-part question. Do you have any vivid memories of that particular bout? And how important was it for you to kickstart Powerrr with a big-time angle and a big-time matchup?
Well, yeah, well, you're right. That it was very important. And I recall, because, you know, I was heavily involved in, you know, it's no secret at this point, heavily involved in, you know, everything to do with the brand. You know, not to say that I'm, you know, an official decision maker or anything.
No, not at all. Yes, I understand.
I'm always in the loop. And I guess probably about maybe 6 or 7 weeks out from the first set of TV tapings, it was sort of pitched to me that we think, I may have my time frame wrong, but it was probably a couple of months. It was like, we're going to do you and Tim to start, because we felt like it was a full circle sort of situation. You know, we'd kicked off the entire brand, NWA in the Lightning One era, with just building, let's see what we can do with 2 guys, you know, and let's see if we can get people invested and interested in these 2 guys. And credit to Billy Corgan and Dave Lagana for identifying something in Tim Storm, and selling me on it. Not that it was, not to say that I would have said, well, I'm not working with him, but to really sell me on this idea that I think that you guys we can tell a really interesting story here. Because going back to the embryonic days of the brand, it was a sort of collaborative effort between the 3 of us, David, Billy, and myself, to how are we going to present this? Like, how are we going to do this? And I had been the one really pushing to take inspiration from HBO boxing and Showtime All Access and UFC, and in the sense of, we don't need volume. We don't need loads of matches. Like, there's too many matches happening now. Why the business is so diluted is, it's just like, why is this match happening? I get that it's a good match, but there's nothing to care about. And I said, well, if we go completely the other way and give multiple pieces of content that are all feeding one match, to the point where then people go, okay, I can get involved in this one match. I can get behind this. Okay, I've given you an hour of my time over the last 5 weeks. Now I need to see this match. And right away, it just, you know, Tim Storm's natural personality and, you know, his likable nature, his authenticity, and just how he stood out in comparison to a lot of talent that's being showcased today. He was such a grown man, right? Like just such a raw boned, rugged dude. Like, I don't care who you are. If you meet Tim Storm and you shake his hand and you hear him talk to you in that voice, like you respect a man like that. That's a man, you know? And I think that it was such a stark sort of contrast to people that I think people were expecting one thing and they got something completely different. And it was enough to get people talking, which is half the battle. And but you know, once the title had switched to me, and without patting myself on the back too hard, you know, we'd really made some big strides in terms of building the brand awareness and sort of creating something out of nothing. Because a lot of those early bookings that I had with the title, the first run, were existing bookings. It was just a case of, you could tell that the momentum was there, because right away, all of those promoters were contacting me and going, can we make it an NWA title match? Oh my God, can we please make it? What do we have to do to make it a title match? And there was some, and apologies if you've heard me say this before, but there was some debate in the beginning about how we were going to do that. Like, were we going to be judicious with it? And no, we're going to do, like, we're only going to do title matches. And I said, look, if I show up to all these shows with the belt and then it's not a title match, like, that it's bad juju, right? There's bad juju on the brand. It's people are going to go, what the hell? And I said, plus we have a unique opportunity here, because again, just as luck would have it, I just happened to have bookings at the time in Europe, Australia, and across the States. So it was kind of like, we have a unique opportunity here to reestablish the folklore of the traveling world champion. That's where, and then the real world champion. And so, you know, with all that, Tim had kind of not disappeared, but, you know, gone out of focus. So I think, and we kept seeing, even with the when Cody latched on to what we were doing and said, I want to jump on this train. You know, he plugged into that energy source. Even then, we were seeing from our base daily, what about Tim Storm? Where's Tim Storm? Oh my God, I fell in love with Tim Storm. Where is he? And I never took that as a sort of hit to my ego. I was like, wow, we you know, I took pride in that because of what we're, you know, no offense to Tim, and he'll probably be the first one to tell you, but to take a guy with not much profile and to have people going, I see him as the same level as Nick and Cody. It was like, I took great pride in that. And I was like, great, because I'm business. Like, I want people to work with who are going to generate interest and sell tickets, sell pay-per-view. You know, I don't like the fact that I haven't defended the title that much lately. You know, and I don't need to be champion forever. I just want to be in the most important thing.
Absolutely. Well, some of those defenses obviously are out of your control with what's going on in the world.
Yeah. And but the when it came back around and we debuted Powerrr, I feel like the way we set that up with the stipulation of, you know, if you don't win, you can never challenge for it again. It created just enough doubt where people went, oh, maybe you'll win it again. You know, maybe it'll change it. And that's really half the battle is creating enough. It's almost like the opposite of you know, a court. Like, you've got a reasonable doubt. You've got to convince people that there's just enough reasonable belief that, like, oh, maybe he'll win it. Like,
There
you know,
certainly was, from my perspective. I mean, this was one of the first times that I had seen Tim Storm work. You know, I had latched onto your early work as the NWA title was coming back into relevancy because of how important the matches were built and whatnot. And I think you guys did a truly tremendous job because I saw the response after that first episode of Powerrr. And like you said, I saw the response that Tim Storm was just getting, let alone you in defending the world title in a very, very, very good matchup to start the show. That kickstarted the brand. And, you know, we're all truly excited to see what NWA does next when the latches of coronavirus are not there. Listen, I'd like to just jump to a different topic now. We were already talking about Marty Scurll a little bit. I just want to ask, you know, Ring of Honor recently mutually parted ways with Scurll for reasons which I'm sure you know. He was one of the many wrestlers named in the speaking out allegations, and it was something that he did later admit to on an online statement. I know NWA and Ring of Honor were trying to work, or were working hand in hand at the time. Do you believe Ring of Honor made the right decision in terminating their relationship with Scurll?
I can't, I mean, that's not for me to say whether
Sure.
I think it was the right decision or not on their part, because obviously that's their business.
Right.
I would say that I felt like it was a little, what's the word I'm looking for here? I'm trying to choose my words carefully with this.
Understandable, one. Yeah.
Topic, because look, I will say this, we still have a very good relationship with Ring of Honor. And from what I understand, Billy still communicates pretty regularly with Joe Koff. So it's in no means, you know, anything I say here is just coming from me, right? It's not the NWA's, you know, official viewpoint or anything like that. I think that, and look, people are aware of the fact that Marty and I are very close. We're as good of friends as anyone in the business.
Of course, and let me just rephrase. Like I understand you guys have a close relationship. I'm not asking you to slander any promotion, but just your input is greatly valued in the wrestling world. So we're just curious to hear your thoughts.
I felt like it was a little unfair of Ring of Honor to take as long as they did. It seemed like there was a long period of inaction and then a very sort of flat kind of statement. You know, we've mutually parted ways.
Yes.
On Twitter, and you put it on Twitter. To me, I felt like it was a little bit, I felt like it could have been handled more quickly and a little more professionally.
Speaking genuinely from my heart, it's very honorable for me to speak to a man who is also genuine and honest about very difficult subjects, and clearly a very, very good friend to Marty and to the rest of us. So thank you. And Champ, that's honestly all the time that we have today. I appreciate you taking the time to speaking with me, Joey G from Wrestling Headlines. I hope you realize how excited I was. I donned my favorite suit to speak to the real world champion. We don't always get a chance to do that. I wish you the best. I wish your family the best and safety and everything going on in these turbulent times. And like I said before, we really look forward to seeing you getting back in that ring and just extending this miraculous title reign even longer. So thank you again, and God bless.
Thank you. And trust me, we appreciate everyone who has stuck with the brand, you know, during a period of, you know, fairly significant inactivity. But 2021 is going to be is going to be a very different year, and I hope that in the next few weeks that there'll be some very positive news, very encouraging news, very exciting news for the NWA fans. And and in the meantime, I've recently launched a supplement company, Legacy Sports Nutrition. Go to legacysups.com. There's some great products there that will make you feel fantastic and optimize your performance. And I should know because I use them all myself.
Well, congratulations on that, and best of luck on your new ventures with the supplement company. I could think of no better person to be the face of a supplement brand than the dealer. So congratulations, Mr. Aldis, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Joey.